Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Now, a couple of months ago, I put out a poll on YouTube and a lot of you said you wanted to know more about choosing a Disney World hotel. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the moderate hotels. Now, I have a lot of notes here. It's going to be pretty dry, but like the last video that I did about the values, I picked one day from Tuesday, October 8th to Wednesday, October 9th to get some prices for you. And these are just, I thought this would be a pretty reasonable time of year. It's not the busiest time of the year, but I think you should still just use this as a guideline, not like don't get actual quotes from this, but I think it'll be a good guideline for you so that you can see approximately how much each of the different room how the resorts price out and how much each of the different room categories are, etc. So I'm going to start with Caribbean Beach Resort. Now, we'll start with the standard rooms at Caribbean Beach, and the standard rooms have views of the resort hotel, so that's just another building, courtyard, or woodlands, and they have 2 queen beds. Now, all of the prices I have are for 2 adults. I quoted 2 adults and 2 kids, ages 10 and 8, because I thought that was a pretty common family makeup for Disney World, but the adding of the 2 kids does not affect the price. So if you just had 2 adults, it would be the same price as if you had 2 adults and 2 kids for the room. Now, this is not including dining or tickets. So I just wanted to point that out because I have some king bedrooms, which you can only have 2 people in. Now, if you want to add a 3rd or 4th adult, you can do that because these rooms will hold that many people. However, you have an extra charge per adult beyond 2. So, okay, we did the standard room, has 2 queen beds. Then they have a standard 5th sleeper, which has the same view, so resort, hotel, courtyard, or woodlands. But this one has 2 queen beds and 1 child-size pull-down bed. Now, this is meant for children ages 9 and under. If you have a really tiny 10-year-old, they would probably fit. If you have a really big 8-year-old, they're not going to fit. But if you have a family makeup where you need that 5th sleeper, you're going to have to purchase it separately in that room category. You can't just request it anymore. Otherwise, you're not going to be guaranteed that. Okay, so they also have king bed rooms, which have views of the lake, pool, resort hotel, courtyard, or woodlands. This room sleeps up to 2 adults because it only has 1 queen bed. However, all of the rooms will sleep an additional child under the age of 2, with the assumption that they would be in a crib, and then you just request that you have a crib in the room. So you can have that, but the room only sleeps 2 adults. Moving on to the pirate rooms. A lot of people are interested in the pirate rooms because they look really, really cool. Something that I would recommend before you book a pirate room is to look at a map of the hotel, because they recently, with construction, they recently made the resort quite a bit smaller. It was huge, but the pirate rooms are further away from the main building and food court, and there's 2 kinds of pirate rooms. They have a standard view, which has views of the resort, hotel, courtyard, or woodlands, and then a water view pirate room, which has views of the lake or pool. Both kinds have 2 double beds. So they do not have queen beds, they only have double beds. So it's not like you can request a queen or king bed if you have a pirate room in either view type. That's not an option. Okay, so they also have water or pool view rooms, which is pretty self-explanatory. You have views of the lake or pool, and those rooms have 2 queen beds. And then they have a water or pool view room with the 5th sleeper. So again, that is with the child-size pull-down bed that's meant for a child age 9 or under. Now, like I mentioned, because it's a bigger resort, they have preferred rooms, which guarantee you are closer to the main building and food court. And well, what they actually advertise is close proximity to Fuentes del Morro Pool and Centertown, which is, like I said, the main building, the lobby. And they have views of the resort hotel, courtyard, or woodlands. And these rooms have 2 queen beds, or they have 2 queen beds and 1 child-size pull-down bed. So if you are purchasing a preferred room and you want the pull-down bed, you can request it, but you have to know it is not guaranteed. Caribbean Beach, like you would expect, is a tropical Caribbean themed hotel. Like I mentioned, they recently had undergone some renovations where they actually made the resort smaller because they're adding, they had to take some property away to allot that property for somewhere else. But anyway, the resort is Caribbean tropical themed, and I'm told the construction is pretty much done and it looks great. Dining, what do they have? They have Sebastian's Bistro, which is relatively new. That is a table service restaurant. They have the Centertown Market food, which is a food court. They have a Centertown Market grab and go, which is kind of what it sounds like, grab and go food. That's pre-prepared. They have the Banana Cabana Bar, Spyglass Grill, and they have pizza delivery. So these are your options. So the other, Sebastian's Bistro is table service. The other ones would be considered quick service. In terms of pools at Caribbean Beach, they have the Fuentes del Moro pool, and that pool is their main feature pool. Now, the moderates have water slides in their pools, which is a difference from the value resorts. There are some other differences as well. I think I don't know how to explain it other than they seem nicer in general, like more theming, more subtle theming. It's not quite so in your face like they are for value resorts. But they also have leisure pools, generally speaking, not Port Orleans French Quarter, but we'll get to that. So Caribbean Beach has the main feature pool, and then they also have 5 leisure pools, which are going to be the quieter pools. So the main feature pool is where they'll do the afternoon pool games and such. What other activities do they have at this resort? They have, consult my notes here, they have campfire activities, so kind of what you'd expect, like a bonfire type of thing. Movies under the stars, which they have like a big screen that they put out like on the grass if the weather is nice, or they'll have the place indoors if the weather is not nice. But they will, in your room, you'll have a printout of the movies every day and the time. So obviously they're Disney movies, but it's actually really cool. So they have a movie every night and you can sit outside and watch a movie. They have a pirate adventure cruise, which is for ages 4 to 12, and they have Unsolved Mysteries of Barefoot Bay. They have fishing, and they have bike rentals. So there's a lot of things to do there. So if you are interested in learning more about those things, you'll have to check them out on the Disney website because this video would be super, super long. Okay, moving along to Port Orleans French Quarter. Now the Port Orleans Resort, they have 2 sides. Technically, it's considered 1 resort, but I always think of it as 2. You have 2 completely separate, like check-in areas. I don't think it's really relevant that it's technically considered 1. They're connected by a walkway. So the first one we're gonna talk about is Port Orleans French Quarter, and the second one is going to be Port Orleans Riverside. But Port Orleans French Quarter is the smallest of the moderate resorts. They are often, I would say almost always, I'm not gonna say 100% of the time, but almost always, when there is a discount released, Port Orleans French Quarter is not eligible for a discount. I've seen it happen a couple of times, but if you stay there, you should plan on paying full price anyway, but really don't get your hopes up about getting a discount because they're almost always excluded. So the Port Orleans French Quarter standard rooms have views of a parking area, and they are, let's see, they have 2 queen beds. So they sleep up to 4 adults. Beyond 2, you are charged an additional per adult price. Okay, the next room type that they have at Port Orleans French Quarter is a garden view room, which, like you would expect, has views of a garden. They have a river view room, which again, views of the river. They have the Sassagoula River that connects Port Orleans Riverside, Port Orleans French Quarter, and Disney Springs. So you can see the boats go by and things like that. So that was the room type we had last time. It was very nice. They also have a pool view room. Again, it's pretty self-explanatory, views of the pool. Now, Port Orleans French Quarter has only this one pool. They have a big water slide with like a serpent in the middle. I thought it, before I stayed there, I thought it kind of would seem tacky, but it really wasn't. It totally fits with the theme. Disney does a great job with their theming. Okay, they do have king bed rooms. So if you want a king bed, you have to request it. The other rooms that I just mentioned all have 2 queen beds, but the king bed rooms obviously have 1 king bed. It sleeps up to 2 adults, and they have views of a garden, courtyard, riverfront, or parking area. So if you purchase a king bed room, you can request one of the views, but that is not guaranteed. You're only guaranteed to have the king bed itself. And again, you can have an additional person under the age of 3 in any of these room categories as well. But if the person is 3 or older, you cannot have an additional person beyond the maximum capacity listed. Dining. So what are the dining options at Port Orleans French Quarter? So like I said, they are the smallest of the moderate resorts. They're the only moderate resort that does not have a table service restaurant. You can always go to, well, any other hotel, but you can go to Port Orleans Riverside if you want to eat at their table service restaurant. You can just walk there. It's not far away at all. You can go to Disney Springs. They are connected via a boat, but they do not have a table service restaurant. They do have a food court. That is the Sassagoula Float Works and Food Factory is the food court. We really enjoyed it. We really enjoyed it when we stayed there. They have beignets. Get the beignets. Oh, they're so good. And then you can get like a dipping sauce for them. They're so good. They also have the Scat Cats Club Bar, which is kind of like what it sounds like, a bar. They have Mardi Gras Bar, which is the pool bar, and then they have pizza delivery, like the other moderates as well. I'm going to talk about transportation for all of the resorts at the end. In terms of what other activities they have a painting class at Scat Cats. They have a beignet fun run. We saw that when we were there last time. They have it, I can't remember what day of the week it is. I want to say Sunday. Or do they have it every day? I'll have to look that up. I don't remember. It was something like 20 bucks. You sign up right, it's kind of by the pool, between the pool and the riverfront, and it's like a 1 mile run or something like that. But they were just setting up for it when my husband and I came back from our own run. The issue was it was too late in the day with our plans, so we just didn't get to do it. But I totally would have otherwise. They also have horse-drawn carriage rides, just like Port Orleans Riverside. They have movies under the stars. They have a campfire. They have bike and Surrey bike rentals, so you can ride them along the path that goes along the river. And they have fishing again. So there are definitely some things to do there as well. It's a very popular resort because, well, the theming is just cool. I mean, if you look at the buildings, it's total Port Orleans French Quarter. It's very, very neat. But because it's small, you don't have to pay for a preferred room because they don't have preferred rooms because it's not necessary. It is a small resort. It's very nice. I was very pleased with it when we stayed there. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. But yeah, it was nice. I would definitely recommend it. Okay, so heading down, up, I think it's up the river, to Port Orleans Riverside. Like I said, it is the other half of the resort that Port Orleans French Quarter is part of. So it is a different, I mean, it's all supposed to be kind of be like a New Orleans theme, but this one is more like bayou kind of themed. And then Port Orleans French Quarter is obviously more like the French Quarter in New Orleans. So Port Orleans Riverside is a very large resort, very large. They have the bayou themed rooms, and then they have the mansions, which is kind of like a plantation. So let's get into those next. So just like I have been doing this with all of these other resorts I've done thus far, all of the rooms have 2 queen beds unless otherwise specified. So starting out with the standard view room, they have views of the parking area. Then you can also get a standard view with 5th sleeper. So again, if you want that bunk size pull-down bed for a child age 9 or under, you need to purchase the standard view 5th sleeper. Otherwise, you're not going to get it. You have to, or I should say, you're not going to be guaranteed to get it. I mean, they may put you in there, but if you need it, you need to purchase it. Okay, so the last standard view room category at Port Orleans Riverside is the Royal Guest Room. So this is another themed room type, kind of like the pirate themed rooms at Caribbean Beach, except these are themed toward princesses, and especially Princess Tiana, because she fits with the Port Orleans theme here. So the Royal Guest Room standard view also has views of the parking area. They have 2 queen beds. There is not an option for a 5th sleeper in the Royal Guest Room though. Moving along to the Garden View Room, which is pretty self-explanatory, that there's views of landscaping, courtyard, or the bayou. I'll see if I can find a picture to show you what the bayou buildings look like. We stayed there the first time we stayed at Port Orleans Riverside, and I've also stayed in the Royal Guest Rooms. I've loved both, so they're just very cool. The theming is very well done. You also have a garden view with a 5th sleeper. So again, if you want a garden view but you need that 5th sleeper option with the child size bunk size pull down bed for a child age 9 or under, you need to purchase the 5th sleeper option. Now I should mention that Caribbean Beach, yes, it was Caribbean Beach, right? Yes, Caribbean Beach and Port Orleans Riverside are the 2 moderate options that have the bunk size pull down bed where you can have 5 people over the age of, or I should say 5 people ages 3 and up in one room. You cannot have 5 people ages 3 and up in one room if you're staying at Caribbean Beach or if you are staying at Coronado Springs, unless you have a suite, but that's a different story. And we'll get there. Okay, so Port Orleans Riverside also has king bedrooms, which has views of landscaping, courtyard, garden, bayou, riverfront, or they specify courtyard again. Oh, courtyard pool. So these rooms have 1 king bed or 1 king bed and 1 child size pull down bed. I was not able to get a price on this one, which is why I have question marks, so I apologize. I did my best. It took forever to find the prices, so I'm sorry, but I put a lot of time into it and I could not get the price because I wanted to have it for the same dates or dates that have comparable prices, and I just couldn't find it. Okay, so now a Royal Guest Room with garden view is another option if you want to have a garden view but you want to be in a Royal Guest Room. Again, it's kind of self-explanatory here in terms of the view, landscaping, courtyard, or bayou. They also have pool view rooms which have views of a courtyard pool, so that it's not the main feature pool, but one of the little side pools. So it would be a little bit quieter because those pools do not have the water slide. They're not going to be as busy, and they're not the area where the afternoon entertainment is done for the kids. But I mean, kids are still going to be splashing and playing in there, so there is going to be some noise. Now, those rooms have 2 queen beds and 1 child-size pull-down bed or 2 queen beds. So you could request the child-size pull-down bed, but it's not going to be guaranteed. Now, you also have the option, if you want a pool view room, to have a Royal Guest Room with the pool view, which, again, it has a view of one of the courtyard pools, not the main feature pool. It only has 2 queen beds, no pull-down, though. In terms of a river view, if you want a view of the Sassagoula River, you can have a river view room. And those have 2 queen beds and 1 child-size pull-down bed, or just 2 queen beds. Again, you can request the pull-down, but it is not guaranteed. Like I mentioned, Port Orleans Riverside is a very large resort, so they have preferred rooms, and the preferred rooms is going to be close to the Sassagoula Steamboat Company, the dining, shopping, transportation. Those rooms have views of landscaping, courtyard, garden, or bayou, and they have 2 queen beds and 1 child-size pull-down bed. So if you are going to be staying in a preferred room, that means you will get the child-size pull-down bed for child ages 9 or under. So in terms of dining at Port Orleans Riverside, they have a table service restaurant, which is Boatwright's Dining Hall. We've eaten there before. It was good. They have the Riverside Mill Food Court, and which has 6 stations that you can get your food at. They're open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I think I preferred their food court. It seemed to be, because it's a bigger resort, it's a bigger food court. But I think that's my favorite food court. of the hotels that we've stayed at. They have River Roost, which is a bar lounge type of thing. They have Muddy Rivers, which is a pool bar. And then again, they have pizza delivery as well. In terms of what there is to do at Port Orleans Riverside, let's see here. Other activities. I wrote it down. Okay, they have horse-drawn carriage rides. Again, just like at Port Orleans French Quarter, you can take the carriage ride down the path that runs along the river. Movies under the stars. They have campfire activities. They have Surrey bike rentals, and they have fishing as well. In terms of pools, they have their main feature pool, which is on Old Man Island. And then they have 5 leisure pools as well, which are, again, are the quieter pools that are throughout the resort. So if you are further away from the main pool, especially if you don't have kids and you're not worried about like having a lot of activities for them and wanting to be at the pool with a water slide, you can always go to one of the feature pools because those are spread out throughout the resort. Lastly, I'm going to wrap it up with Coronado Springs. Now, my husband and I just stayed there in December between Christmas and New Year's, so I do have a video on that doing a review, so check that out if you're interested. Now, Coronado Springs is currently undergoing construction for the Grand Destino Tower. They're going to be moving the lobby and check-in area into the Grand Destino Tower. That is not open yet, and the Grand Destino Tower is going to have rooms. They're going to have, let's see, they're going to have standard rooms, water view rooms, standard view rooms with club level access, executive suite with club level access, a standard view king bed, a water view king bed, a 1-bedroom suite with club level access, and a presidential suite with club level access. There has not been information released yet about the club level there. A while back, Coronado Springs used to have a modified club level. Typically, well, with the exception of this now, Disney only has club level options at deluxes. So by modified, it was like more of a limited club level. Information has not been released about if this is going to kind of go back to what they had before or if it's going to be different. So I'm not going to talk about the Grand Destino Tower at this time because it's not open yet. It's not going to be open until later in the year and we don't have information yet. And this video would be even longer. So I'm going to skip over those and move on to the standard rooms. Okay, so again, unless specified, the rooms have 2 queen beds and you can have an additional person ages 2, 1, or 0. So a standard view room has views of the courtyard or parking area. They also have a water view room, which has a view of a pool or of the lake. They have a lake right in the middle of the resort and it is very, very pretty. They have a king bedroom, which not surprisingly has a king bed, and that room has a view of either the courtyard or of a parking area. And that room has, because it has 1 king bed, it only sleeps 2 adults. But again, you can have a child in a crib if you so choose, and you can request a view. Say you wanted a view of a courtyard, you can certainly request that, but it is not guaranteed. You're only guaranteed a room with the king bed. The next is the water view king room, which is a king room with a view of either the pool or the lake. And there is, moving right along. And there are preferred rooms at this hotel as well. Like I mentioned, this is a very large resort. The larger resorts typically have preferred rooms, which guarantee you are closer to the main building and food court. So the regular preferred rooms at Coronado Springs have 2 queen beds. They have views of either the lake, a courtyard, or a parking area. And you are guaranteed to be in a building near El Centro, which is the main building, dining, shopping, and transportation. They have a preferred view king room as well, which is what my husband and I had when we stayed there just a couple of months ago. In these rooms, again, you're guaranteed to be near El Centro, dining, shopping, and transportation. And they have views of the lake, courtyard, or parking area. 1 king bed, so it sleeps up to 2 adults. You can request a crib for a kid under the age of 3. Okay. Now, Coronado Springs has some suites. I am not really going to get into, like I'll show you the price here, but I'm not really going to get into whether it makes more sense for you to stay here or to stay at a deluxe. I'm just going to give you the information because we'd be here for days. So the Casitas 1-bedroom suite has views of a courtyard, and the Casitas area, that's where the is very near the main building. So it's kind of in, some of the preferred rooms are there. So it is near El Centro, dining, shopping, and transportation. Now the Casitas 1-bedroom suite has 2 queen beds and 1 queen size sleeper sofa. So it can sleep up to 6 adults. But again, beyond 2, you're going to be charged an adult fee. The junior suite has views of a courtyard, and it has 2 queen beds and 1 queen size sleeper sofa. So again, it can sleep up to 6 adults. The difference is that they don't have, between this and the 1-bedroom suite, the Casitas 1-bedroom suite, is that it's not like a separate bedroom. So that's where there's a difference right there. Now there is a junior suite king. Now I'm saying this is about $623 for this night that I priced out, because the suite was not available for the night I was pricing it out, and I had to go through pretty much the entire calendar and find a day when it was available, but the cost wasn't exactly the same. So I had to do some math in my head, but this is an approximate cost. So a junior suite king room has views of the courtyard. It has 1 king bed and 1 queen size sleeper sofa. So it sleeps up to 4 adults. Again, it's not a separate bedroom. The 1-bedroom suite king, that is a separate bedroom. So that room has 1 king bed and 1 queen size sleeper sofa. So it still only holds 4 adults, but it has a separate bedroom area. You're not just in, you know, one regular hotel room, so it's going to be a bigger room, and it has views of the garden or of the lake. Casitas Executive Suite. So this is the largest and most expensive room type here. It has views of the courtyard. It is in, again, the Casitas area is near the main building. So it is near El Centro, dining, shopping, and transportation. So it's in a preferred area. It has 1 king bed and 2 queen beds and 1 queen size sleeper sofa. So it can hold up to 8 adults. Like I said, there currently is construction at Coronado Springs. So they are building the Gran Destino Tower. They're also working on a water, I was gonna say waterfront, but that's not accurate. Over the water dining. In the middle of the lake, they're actually building a restaurant. Like, I think it's called 3 Bridges. They're in the middle of working on that as well. So there is a bit of construction. It really did not negatively impact our stay at all. The only time it really impacted us at all was when we were just running, like for the purpose of exercise, and we couldn't go this way or that way because there was construction. And the path was blocked off. But other than that, it did not affect us at all. So in terms of dining, they do have a table service restaurant. They have Maya Grill. They have Cafe Rick's, which is grab and go, pre-made stuff, quick service. They have El Mercado de Coronado, which is a food court. They have Siestas Cantina Bar, Laguna Bar, Rick's Sports Bar and Grill, and then they have room service as well. When the Gran Destino Tower opens, they're going to have more dining options as well. They're going to have Toledo tapas, steak and seafood, and that's going to be rooftop dining on the Gran Destino Tower, so that should be pretty cool. And like I said, they're also working on the 3 Bridges Bar and Grill as well. In terms of pools, they have the Lost City of Cibola pool. That's a pretty cool one. That looks like there's a big Mexican pyramid in the middle, and then they have 3 leisure pools as well. In terms of activities, they have the campfire and they have movies under the stars as well. Now I wanted to talk about, quickly wrap this up. So construction, like I said, Coronado Springs, they have general construction, they have room refurbishments, and then they're doing the Gran Destino Tower and the 3 Bridges restaurant. Everything is still available. All of the amenities are still available. Nothing is closed, but you might see or hear some work, but they do not do work like from dusk until something like 9 a.m. So you don't have to worry about noise when you're trying to sleep at night with them working or anything like that. Caribbean Beach, they have some Skyliner construction, but I had a client that was there in November, and I had a couple clients there in November actually, and they really had no impact whatsoever of the Skyliner construction. It's, to my understanding, the majority of that is done at this point. Now, in terms of transportation, currently you have to take a bus to get to all of the parks. Once the Skyliner is open, you are going to be able to take the Skyliner from Caribbean Beach Resort to Epcot or Hollywood Studios. But if you're staying at Caribbean Beach Resort, you would need to take a bus to all of the other parks and water parks and Disney Springs, that type of thing. The other three, so Coronado Springs and Port Orleans, Riverside, Port Orleans, French Quarter, you have to take a bus to all of the parks. But Port Orleans, Riverside, and French Quarter, you can take a boat to Disney Springs if you so choose. Dogs. So if you want to bring a pet dog, not a service animal, but if you want to bring a pet dog to Disney World, your options in terms of moderates are to stay at Port Orleans, Riverside in a standard or garden view room. Now, they don't allow them in all of them. When they have dogs, they try to isolate them into one area. If you're booking a garden view room and you want to make sure you're not near a dog, you would just put that request in there. But again, that's just a request. So if you want to be guaranteed, then I would pick a different room type. Like if you picked like a royal guest room, for example, you would know that you're not going to be near dogs because they're not allowed in those areas. In terms of toiletries, they have the big toiletry thingy majiggy, I don't even know what you call it. The pumps in the showers, they have shampoo, conditioner, body wash. And then on the counter by the sinks, they have body lotion, aloe, and mouthwash. Parking is $19 a night at the moderate resorts. And they have laundry services as well, just like the other hotels. So generally, the laundry facilities are near the main pool. Generally, I haven't done laundry at every hotel, but they do have the laundry facilities there as well, so that if you want to do some laundry while you're there, it's not a problem. We've done it, super easy to use, and it really isn't a big deal. So I don't hesitate to do laundry at Disney if that's going to be convenient for you. Is there anything else I want to mention? I think I've talked enough. Okay, so this is an extremely long video. I'm sorry it was so long. It's probably dry. It was kind of a difficult video, lots of information and lots of numbers. So if you stuck with me this long, thank you so much. I don't know if it's gonna be probably not the next video, but I will have a video similar to this regarding the deluxes coming up as well. We're going to Disney soon, so we're gonna have some probably some travel and vlog type videos, maybe a room or hotel tour. We're staying at Port Orleans Riverside. We're running the Disney Princess Half Marathon, so we might have a race video. So we have a lot of fun stuff coming up. So subscribe if you want to see some of that fun stuff coming up, and thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.